Hey all, it is time for Jason's Thoughts. Today's topic comes by request from RCK, who wanted to know my views on some of the core leadership attributes of the one and only Optimus Prime. Yeah, that's right. The Transformer. Once was a cartoon, now is big into movies with famous actors and actresses. Yeah, that one. Well, lo and behold, it certainly stimulated reflection to my childhood when I would get up early on a Saturday morning to watch cartoons and watch the Transformers show, which I loved. But in reflection, I definitely recalled three really, really important attributes that I think if you're in a leadership role, you can use to this day. My first was that he created an environment that was open lines of communication, collaboration, and trust. Even though he was the leader, no matter what the battle was or the mission was that they were going into, there was always opportunity to have open lines of communication where you didn't feel stupid. You could ask any question, you could give feedback, you could make suggestions, you could even challenge some of the thoughts given by the leader, even himself or others. And I think whenever you have a group that's got that chemistry, that does take some time to create in some cases, the fact that you trust each other and you respect each other enough to allow that collaboration to happen, I think is amazing. So number one, Optimus Prime created an environment that was full of trust and great collaboration. Number two for me was he was one that would always put himself at risk or on line for his team. Whether that was in battle or not, usually it was. He was always the last one to stand and take on all the Decepticons. But I think there's something important in that. I think in the real world, it's easy to, pass blame and talk about why it didn't work or blame someone else. But he never did that. If they're about to fail, he'd be the one to take the bullet. He'd be the one to sacrifice his body, his mind, and be captured by the evil Decepticons. And it happened without even a thought. He put his people first. He didn't worry about himself. As long as his people were okay, he was okay. And he would continue on his journey. And I think today's age and leadership, sometimes we don't always make the right mistake. Maybe the team doesn't win. They don't succeed. And I think a lot of times it's easy to pass blame onto reasons why he can't and couldn't. But he never did. He took the bullet. He fought the good fight. He owned it. He owned the failures. He apologized to his team. He didn't blame anybody. And they moved on. And the last attribute, I think, which was the most noble, is he was always the one to lead the charge. It didn't matter the battle. It didn't matter if there was only 5 Autobots and 50 Decepticons. Where did you see him when they were rolling out and moving the pack? He was at the front of the line. The gas was going and he was rolling, and everybody behind him, no matter how small the group, they had nothing but trust because he was the leader of that pack. And I think in reflection too, when something might be hard and you're a leader and you say to your team, yeah, you're coaching them and this won't be so bad and you'll get through this, just, practice or role play or whatever. I think all those things are easy, but sometimes the best thing to do is just take charge and lead that pack and put yourself out on the line. show them how it's done. And maybe you'll stumble too, and maybe you'll fail a little bit here and there. But I think as a leader, there's definitely a responsibility to get out there and lead that charge. You may not come to victory. Hopefully it will. And only good things can happen from it. I think the biggest thing that all three underlie is that they all had nothing but ultimate trust in their leader. And that didn't come just by virtue of his title. I believe that came from a lot of different attributes. But I think those three are the key ones that built that team full of trust in their great leader, Optimus Prime. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed. Would love to hear from others. If you have any requests on things that you would like to hear. It's 2021 and COVID hopefully is coming to an end so we can get back to life the way it used to be. But just remember, in this final stretch, just be grateful for what we have, because we know how quickly it can change and how much we can lose overnight. But we're resilient and we're going to make it. Be kind, stay strong. Take care.